Joe, feel free to creatively edit this and not just take big chunks of me saying terrible things like kick a dog in the head.
I did last time.
Let's avoid, turning me into a giant villain for your own personal gain. People aren't going to like you.
People already don't like me. What do I have to lose? Might as well have fun.
Fuck you, Joe. Kick the dog in the head. It's outstanding. It's great.
All right, I'll stoke a conversation here. What's the last indie game you guys played?
What was the last one? I think it was Exit 8.
I played that. That was actually really weird. But
it's weird and it's addicting, and I want to do it again right now.
I know, except for the ones where the guy chases you, and I got scared and I peed myself. Then I started
made a movie of it.
I was just gonna say, I heard about the movie. I heard about the movie before the game.
Okay, so if you've watched the trailers for the movie, that's literally the game. You're just walking down the same hallway over and over again, trying to find if it's a regular hallway or if there's something different about it.
Yeah, and then if you figure out the little trick, there's a sign that you pass by that counts up, and you have to get to 8 to get to exit 8. And if you fuck up, it goes back to 1. So I made it to 7, and I was like, I started noticing all these little differences. And then I was like, aha, I figured it out. And I walked around the corner, and it was like 1. I'm like, you motherfucker. And I stopped.
You didn't figure out shit.
Well, some of the thing is, too, it's completely randomized what anomalies you get.
You hear a click. Did you ever notice that? If you get if you do what you're supposed to do with that hallway, you'll hear a click.
No, I didn't hear that. I didn't pay attention to that. I was too busy staring at every little detail.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is you stare at every little detail there. Eventually, you're going to hear like a click because you looked at the right thing or you did the right thing, and that tells you can carry on. However, you have to go in the direction you're facing. So if you turned around, you're facing backwards, and you hear that click, well, you got to start going in that direction to get to the next hallway.
Oh.
At least that's my theory. I have no actual evidence based on that, but I was doing that, and that's what got me up to 7.
Oh,
but I'm starting to think there's no actual click, and Brian's just like stroking out while playing this out of fear.
He's got a pen in his hand, and he's clicking the pen every time.
It's you biting through your own tongue. It's fine.
Every time the click happens, I start salivating, and I want a treat.
It's working then. Sweet.
Yeah, the game's Pavloved me.
Oh, boys.
So exit 8. Anything else?
Yeah,
I'm playing The Long Dark right now. It's one of my favorite indie games.
I always jump in and out of the blueprints too.
Oh, that's a good game.
Never finished that. And I'm going to be honest, I probably never will because I don't totally know what I'm doing yet.
Yeah,
that game scares me. Because I feel like I get way too addicted, and then I just be down a rabbit hole and do nothing else.
But that's the thing is, like, as it's a roguelike, it as you progress, you unlock things that help you kind of get better cards or better blueprints and stuff like that. And yeah, it is addictive, but it does have a life on it because after a while, it just gets repetitive.
Yeah.
That's what broke the cycle for me because I was playing that for like hours a day. And then it just eventually it's like, I'm just getting bored of this tedious repetition.
Yeah, I can see that. That's why I do like a couple days and then I'll stop and then go do something else and play a couple days and stop. Then don't play my games at all for a while because work.
Oh, I hate that one. All during the school season. Or not school year, I'd be like, oh man, I really want to play game X. And then I play 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm too tired. I'm going to bed.
You're an entirely different animal once you're like out of school. You get like feverish and 20 million ideas and everything else.
Oh no, those ideas are there during school. I just don't want to invest the time because I have to put my time in towards learning.
But if you must.
In the summer, I actually spend I'm trying to teach myself unreal because I don't feel like I was adequately prepared by the instructor in our course. So I'm taking the time to learn right now widgets, which is basically your user interface. So I learned how to make a timer, how to make the timer display on the screen, how to make the game end when the timer gets to 0, how to make a restart or an exit button. So it's getting there. It's programming, but with little boxes that do everything for you.
That sounds simplified, but I don't know. Sounds interesting enough. Sounds like something I do not have time to figure out on my own anymore. So
I can barely dress myself, so there's no way that that's happening.
I mean, how long were we sitting in technical difficulties to get you to join this call?
Yeah, hit the OK button. The OK button. I don't see it on my keyboard.
No, when I switched to, when I switched browsers, I had to go into that setting and set the bigger mic up and then set the camera up. Then I had to
what do you mean switch to browsers? What were you in before? RuneScape?
No, I was on what is it freaking called? You know, the Microsoft one. I use it every goddamn day, and I can't. There you go. But I didn't have all the same options as Chrome did when I first
imagine
that. So I don't know if something was going on.
That's why I don't use Edge.
I have to use it at work because.
Work is a different beast altogether. Mind you, my old job, they put Chrome on there, and I tried to use that all the time, and I kept getting flagged by our IT section. It doesn't work with Chrome. Use Edge. And be like, I don't fucking want to. And anyways, I lost that battle.
Yeah, the biggest problem with working at Toyota is we have people that think they can make their own apps, and the apps never work. And then when it's a mess. But I made the app. Yeah, you did. Your app doesn't work. Let me look into it. And then they never get back to you. Oh,
of course. So, Brian, what have you been playing indie-wise?
I said, well, we did Cuphead for an episode there not too long ago, but what have I played recently? Thank goodness you're here. It's that charming little British game. It just all story. You're just a little guy going around a town in this little quaint British town. It was kind of neat.
It did sound charming.
I just downloaded Mina the Hollower, which I'm going to start this weekend. Been hearing good things about that. I played Mixtape played Mixtape while I watched, basically.
Yeah, I heard that's a pretty...
Let's just say I put the controller down.
It's not a game.
Yeah, I put the controller down, and basically I could just, it would skateboard down a hill, and you could just sit there and watch it. You do tricks and stuff like that, but it's more for if you want to. It doesn't really affect anything in the game. It's one of those situations where the game doesn't have any consequence, and the fun or the challenge of it is gone.
Would you have rather watched a movie?
It was an okay story. I'm not going to take away the story, but they could have done better.
I read about the story. I'm not interested in the story. I'll move on.
But it's about your childhood. Actually, the king, the best part was actually the music.
I lived in reality, not somebody else's.
You didn't live in reality. You lived in the backcountry.
No, I didn't move to the backcountry until I met Brandy.
Oh, you lived in Brant? That's considered backcountry.
Brantford,
whatever.
Brantford. Stop yelling at me.
There it is.
Listen to your father.
I still use that all the time when I talk to them, my kid and my wife.
Listen to your father.
Yeah, it works really. No, stop yelling at me. Seriously, just if you're having a conversation with somebody, just go stop yelling at me, and it just shuts it right down. It's the best. Taught to me by the McG, the McG.
That's me. Yeah, anytime, at any point, just be like, don't raise your voice, don't change your facial expression. Just be like, why are you yelling at me? Stop yelling at me. Throws them right off the game. Then you
yeah, it's outstanding. It's great.
Just like awkward silences.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at a list of indie games right now, and I did not realize there's so many noted indie games. Mouse PI, that's the game I was thinking of. Fuck.
There you go.
I was like,
is that actually an indie game?
It's considered an indie game. That's one of the things we'll talk about is, where they take Power Wash Simulator 1. It was developed by that small company, but it was produced or distributed by Square Enix. The second game they distributed themselves. So, like, what is an indie game? Securing funding count against them?
Yeah, I don't know. Because, I came into the same problem when I was, like, looking stuff up for this, too. Like, did a little bit of mild research, and I'm like, oh, Hi-Fi Rush is not considered an indie game. Okay, even though Tango was a very small company. But same deal, I think.
Funded by Microsoft?
Yeah, the whole
or
studio
Bethesda,
is part of the
whichever one at the time.
Yeah.
Whatever name you want to go by at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
They were a
But
small studio, but they were pretty much owned by Bethesda, where the people who did Power Wash Simulator are in independent studios still.
So with that, though, does that make Halo an independent game? Because at the time, Bungie was a small studio being funded by
It
Microsoft.
was a small studio until Microsoft bought them.
But they didn't buy them at first.
Yeah, does it retroactively become AAA if the studio bought it out?
Well, considering Microsoft owns the rights to Halo, it makes it a Microsoft product.
Yeah, now.
Because otherwise, Bungie would have put Halo on the PlayStation, so a second they were bought by Sony.
Fair. Yep. Fair point. I'm going to take my ball and go home now.
And with that, we're going to get started, I suppose, because it sounds like a good time to do that.
So there's plenty there.
Give me a second. I'll give you a nice pause here, Joe, for the intro, so you know where to put the music in, and then I'll riff my normal riff.
Okay. Can your dog interrupt it again? That was a lot of fun.
Fuck you, Joe. All right, welcome to episode 6 of RetroBytes Neo, and with me as always is my good buddy Joe, and this month we brought in a ringer, a man who needs no introduction.
I totally need an introduction.
Who's that? I'm just kidding. That there is my good friend, the McG. Some of you might know him, some of you might have been meeting him for the first time, but he is here to discuss indies versus AAAs with us. Basically, the idea this month is we're just going to have a little chin waggle about, the current indie market versus the current AAA market, because it seems to be a hot topic out there. First off, how are you guys doing? God, you guys are nailing it. Okay, I'm going to go with this solo.
It's not like we talked for 20 minutes before that or anything. Not at all. But
nope.
No, doing pretty good. Went for a bike ride in the middle of spring season, which was a mistake. So tons of cottonwood and everything else, and I'm trying not to hack up a lung. So if you hear more coughing than usual, that's me dying.
All right.
Well, it could be me dying though, because I'm just getting over a cold.
We're gonna blame them all on McG.
It was horrible.
Well,
it hit me Saturday night.
If you hear any snoring, I took some
Sunday.
allergy medication and it might knock me out.
Brian's on Benadryl. Gonna be asleep.
Oh man, that would be the dream. I have to drive early in the morning tomorrow, so might only be a few beers tonight. All right.
Yeah, I got the same. I got to take you into work tomorrow morning, so
that horrible fatherly responsibilities. But let's get into the discussion here, because that's what people are here to talk or listen to, not our personal lives. I have to go grocery shopping, and then afterwards I got to pick up my dry cleaning, and then anyways.
Oh, we can talk for 2 hours about grocery prices if you want. I mean,
yeah, that should be the next discussion, the price of groceries.
Yes.
How it's interfering with my video game budget.
There you go. See, way to tie it together.
There you go. All right, so
like a pro.
Starting it out, let's start with how indies kind of do more with less. So what is an indie game that really felt bigger and like more impactful than a AAA title in your lives? A game that, just pretty much you feel like you got your money's worth, even though it was half the price of a AAA game, like Stardew Valley or Expedition 33.
I was going to say, there's an answer that's just lying on the floor here, because, I mean, it's gotten more publicity than I think any other indie game in the past 10 years. And yeah, it's Expedition 33. Blew all expectations out of the water. $20 cheaper than anything else AAA on the market. It just exceeded all expectations. And to come out of an indie studio was just shocking and amazing.
Well, I never played that, so your answer is wrong.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm used to that. That's fine.
No, I do got to play that one because I've heard nothing but good things. But like, Sea of Stars really hooked me.
Oh, that's another good one. Yeah,
that's a great one.
Go Song. If anybody's tried Go Song, that one got me for a bit.
I think you tried to get me to play that, and I just bitched out like right at the beginning because I went the wrong direction and ran into a wall.
Sounds very much like you.
Yeah, and that it's funny because that's actually purposely put into the game to run one way and then realize you can't and go the other way.
Well, it's funny. Well, I remember that one because most video games, if they start you facing right on the screen, because most games in North America or the Western world go left to right, well, even Japanese games, because that's just the way we naturally do things. And when you run into the wall on the right, you don't immediately think, let's run back to the left and see what's there. You think, how the fuck do I get over this wall? Because especially early in the game, you're supposed to have skill gates, which are supposed to teach you how to play the game. And this game just fuck this game. So yeah, there's some good. There's some good.
Metroid, you like that game?
Yeah, there's some good examples there. Stardew Valley, Expedition 33. Sea of Stars, these are all games that kind of came out of left field. Small teams. I guess a Messenger can be lumped in with that. Small Quebec team. The Long Dark is a game that feels bigger than it actually is. It's another Canadian team. Celeste, another Canadian team. Anybody in America make games?
Well, did you guys ever mess with, because it got a lot of attention, but I never touched it, was Disco Elysium?
I have that downloaded. I actually have a sticky note on my desk to play that.
You do it while you're on break, apparently, because I hear it's wait, what was that? 3D Tentai Tentacle Adventure? What else was on the sticky note? What?
Oh no, Monument Valley. Jesus Christ.
I'll leave it. We'll see. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I've heard amazing things about it, like mainly because it's like so story heavy, but I don't know. It never grabbed me. I think I watched like a couple of like 5-10 minutes of like a let's play here and there, and I like at different points, and I was like, yeah, I'm not in the mood for this. But I don't know. What are your thoughts, Brian? You seem interested in it.
Well, it's on my list. Somebody recommended me to play it, and actually, it was Chris from a couple of months ago there when we were talking to him. He really has been pushing that game, so it's always been on my short list of games to play. It's just kind of that one that holds the rest of the list down, and I just keep taking from the next level.
Yeah, you're one of the biggest story groupies I know, so that should be like right down your alley. You really do. Well, yeah, that's why you shit on our little game night the other night. But anyways,
how about that? Like, story is pretty big to me, and indie games let people tell the stories that they feel gamers want, and we've had some really good stories because of that. Mm-hmm. Do you think indie games tell a better story than the modern AAA games that are trying to just sell you games to make back their billion-dollar budgets?
I mean, most times probably. Like I feel like indie studios have so much more creative freedom to like go out there with a story point and follow it, where you got these over-bloated at times AAA games that are sometimes dictated by a lot of corporate just garbage too, where it's just like, no, we're not going to stick on that story beat for this long because we want to sell the consumer microtransactions and everything else, as opposed to really diving deep on a story.
Yeah,
I don't know if that answered your question. I feel like I've gotten the weeds there a little bit.
I think the other problem with the AAA games too is if game A does well with a certain type of telling the story, a certain way of telling the story, and it does well, sells great, part 2 is carbon copy. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And
carbon copy with one new mechanic.
Even if that, sometimes they take that other stuff away, right? Like, that the biggest thing is they know that they've sunk tens of millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars into these games, so they don't want to take a risk and change anything. so it just stays the same because they know it worked last time and they want to make sure they make their money back. And then also, like you guys said, that microtransactions come in after that. And
yeah, no, that's
fantastic.
absolutely right. My excuse me, my opinion is basically the same thing. I find like because the freedom an indie studio has to tell their story, it's more, they're more invested in the story than a big studio that has like 5, 10, 15 writers hacking away at different parts of the story, and then they have to all stitch it together. It just feels more authentic in a lower budget game. Do you think if they took a game like Undertale, Celeste, something that's very low budget, low graphics, and gave it a AAA budget, it would ruin the charm of the game?
You got something, Dave?
I would think it would, because that, in my opinion, the whole purpose of an indie game is to not be that big giant spectacle with the fancy graphics and the this and then that. It's like what makes it an indie game great, that it doesn't look like anything else.
Yeah, it would just. I feel like it would become too just bloated. It's like, okay, we're gonna focus on the looks and everything. Like those two games in particular. One sec. Spit that ball out of my mouth. There's no way I'm talking with that thing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna let that sit a little bit.
Okay.
But those two games in particular, Undertale and Celeste, like a big part of them is their pixel graphic. They're charming because they're going for a specific look. You start giving something like that a AAA budget, I feel like, yeah, it might start that route. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna go with this art style, and then you're gonna start getting too many opinions in the room, too many ideas, and before you know it's an entirely different looking game that's not invested in a gripping story that they're trying to tell.
Yeah, and not to mention, as soon as you give something a $100 million or $1 billion budget, well, it becomes about making that money back. A game like Celeste, it costs a couple of thousand, or like maybe say $100,000 to make on the high end. Well, it's going to be a lot easier for a game to make that money back than it is for a $1 billion game like that to make the money back. So yeah, they would have to keep putting their fingers into the pot, especially the C-suite, the executives out there that are more concerned about money, looking at you, Ubisoft, than they are at the quality of their games.
Well, yeah, because that $100,000 also doesn't come like without oh my god, just lost the word I was looking for. But like, there's rules. There's like, hey, this isn't for free. You also have to implement these things if we're giving you this money, or do this, or we want your game
comes
to
with
sell
conditions
this.
all the time.
Conditions. That word.
You have to make the shareholders happy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that actually is what makes AAA games not as appealing to me nowadays. Like Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is coming out in a month. And I'm super excited for that, because that was back when Ubisoft was at their peak for building games. And between that and the Far Cry series, and then all these other like Ubisoft series that the logo just kept popping up on, they were a really good company. And then it became about the money again. And they started nickel and diming everything. And then the C-suite got involved, and everything had to be their way because they were just like basically a hedge fund in a suit. And that is what destroys AAA games, in my opinion. And that's why I like indie games. They build your game, you put it on Game Pass, you get the $300,000 or whatever they get paid to have it on Game Pass. You recoup your costs, and you still make some sales because people on other consoles still hear about it. And so you get a little more scratch out of it. You're not making, billions of dollars. You're not making Flappy Bird money, but you're making some good money.
Man, I wish I had Flappy Bird money.
That guy pulled it off the App Store because he was making too much money. Like, first world problem.
I know, right? I would hate to be in his shoes. Totally.
Oh no, I've surpassed fuck you money, and now I have Epstein Island money.
Oh boy.
Hey, just because he had a ticket doesn't mean anything, okay?
So when was the last time a AAA game actually surprised you? Like, came out of the box and you saw the trailer at the Game Awards or something, you're like, holy fuck.
I would say, I mean, Expedition had too much hype, and I heard too much about Sea of Stars before I got into it. So I would say I went in pretty blind to Hades. Like I just heard that, oh hey, a lot of people are playing this. And I was like, okay, I looked nothing into it, didn't see how it was reviewing, and jumped in, and I cannot even tell you how many hours I sink into that. I mean, did that drop prime COVID time if I'm remembering right?
Right at the end of it.
Was that the end of it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I still didn't feel like being responsible then because I still sunk in a ton of time in that. That one grabbed me so bad. I'm also a sucker for roguelikes, so too. But yeah, that one I remember just having a ton of fun. And it was the unexpected story of that game. I was not going into that game expecting plot or actually caring about these characters because it's a roguelike. I figured, play, wipe, repeat, play, wipe, repeat. And it's like, oh no, there's something here actually in it. It made me want to keep going and get to the end even more. It gave me something to aim for, essentially. A goal.
What about you, McG? Any games, indie games surprise you out of the box? Anything just you didn't expect and all of a sudden you're like, wow?
So, to be completely honest, I rarely pay attention to any advertising. So,
that's good.
So basically any game I play, except for like obviously the major, huge, giant games, like any indie game has either been been recommended from like you friends, stuff like that.
I was gonna say word of mouth, yeah.
Yeah, or I've just scanned through the store and been like, oh, this kind of looks neat, and I played it. Like I am so detached from media and advertisement and stuff like that. So pretty much any if I play the game for more than an hour, it's gonna grab me. So
everything's a surprise to you.
Yeah, that's like my everyday.
So shifting that question a little bit there, McG.
Stop.
Anything you just like took a chance on that just like grabbed you? Something that made you like look at it or like listen to the music and like, well, holy fuck, this is good.
So, watching McJr. play Dead Cells, that one grabbed me from watching him play. So that was like one I actually sat down and played the most of. I think that's the one I played the most because it's like the first real indie game I focused in on for long periods of time.
Same here. That one grabbed me for a while too. And I'm trying to think of like before that, and I'm sure there was something, but I just can't place it right now. But I remember, Dead Cells got me bad for a while. It's a similar mechanic to Hades too, as I'm talking about it, but still. Clearly I have an MO in what I like.
Yeah, well, we all do, right? And for me, it was Sea of Stars, actually. Like, I saw the trailers and everything, and then I it was like, this is made to be like Chrono Trigger, an homage to it, and it has Yasui Misuda, the Chrono Trigger music
now, see,
maker.
Would that be a surprise for you specifically?
No, let me finish my sentence here.
Okay. So, let me just interrupt 3 more times. Okay, got it.
So, as soon as they said, like, I talk too much about Chrono Trigger. You guys know that. And
I'm getting at, but yeah.
Yeah, so when it said it was, Chrono Trigger like, I put my expectations like way up there, and I was like, this is just not going to be that good. And I got absolutely hooked on it right away. Like, the music was outstanding. Eric W. Brown did the music. He's Necrogoblicon drummer. So if you like Necrogoblicon, that's the guy who does the music for Sea of Stars and The Messenger. I mean, the story was outstanding. There was a twist in the story. They made me actually feel for a character for so long, like, because they telegraphed his death. They didn't just like surprise you, and they stretched it out. And the whole time as you got closer to that point, it was just like, wow, it's like, this is it. And you kind of felt that along the way. It was the game made me, eat my own words when I was just like, it'll never be as good as Chrono Trigger. And I'm now putting it up on the top of my RPG list of all time.
Yeah, it's an amazing one. I was actually hemming and hawing between booting that up again for New Game Plus or diving into God of War 2016 again. And went God of War, but You're making me regret that decision
Yeah,
immediately now.
I started Sea of Stars again because I played it on PS5 and goddamn, I have a new Game Plus file and I love the new Game Plus and I was
Yeah.
going through it again, so I got to get back into it.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the next one on the burner for me.
Yeah. All right. Do you feel some games only work because they're indies? Do you think some ideas that you've played as indie games might work great as AAA, like Expedition 33 being a prime example?
Yeah.
It feels like a AAA game, but it is definitely an indie studio of a bunch of people who bailed on Ubisoft France.
Yeah.
Does this kind of show AAA studios that they don't need to spend big dollars and have end credits of umpteen million people, including the craft table service guys? Because fuck, they're getting long. And
God,
well, back to my question: does the games like Expedition 33 make you feel like AAA studios should reevaluate how much money they spend on games?
I feel like that one in particular has caused a stir a bit because, like, okay, these, what was it, 31 or how many people are in that team?
Oh, it was small.
It was 30 something. I feel like, ironically, because it's Expedition 33, but it was close to around that. And like, you have these huge dev studios. Like, I've heard Game Freak is like, hey, do what Expedition 33 did. We're a turn-based RPG game. Do that. And they're like, we don't know how. And it's stuff like that. And it's just like, it lit a fire that it just proved, yeah, these C-suite scumbags just throw money and think, hey, they'll know what the consumer wants. And
here's what's funny about Expedition 33 is I took a beginner's game development course last year, and you have to learn C++ because C++ is what is used in Unreal Engine for programming. But Unreal Engine developed this thing called Blueprints, which uses these nodes. If you ever done 3D modeling or anything that uses nodes, basically you're just pinning one box to another, and the boxes have predetermined commands in them. Expedition 33 was made 95% with these blueprint nodes.
Holy cow.
Very little programming.
Wow.
So
that's insane.
And it's supposed to be the way it's accessible to everybody. So basically it's saying anybody could build a game like Expedition 33 in Unreal if you took the time to learn the engine.
Jeez. That's pitiful. That's just depressing. It's like we could have been getting games like this for years probably, and just AAA corporations, Ubisoft are just getting in the way, and it's sad.
I think COVID kind of screwed with that too.
That's true. That's a good point.
Everybody was dumping money into stuff, right? So everybody was at home. So what did? They played games.
Yeah. And then the video game market exploded a bit, and then they're like, oh, hey, we can make a ton of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Bungie being a perfect example, like we were kind of talking about before. They were Destiny. And then COVID hit, the game took off, microtransactions went through the roof, they made all this money. Then they started, even before Marathon, they had, what they call it again? I can't remember the code name, but there was another indie game, or another game IP they had that they were going to start, and then they canceled it.
Yeah,
and then
I remember hearing, I can't place it either, but
yeah, but they wanted to be a multi-IP studio, but then when life got back to normal, all of a sudden the money wasn't coming in as much and as frequent, and they started stretching thin their people because they couldn't afford more. Then people got laid off, and then now all of a sudden
you get Marathon
where we are now.
yeah, we get Marathon.
No, that's a good point. I mean, the COVID really did screw the gaming industry, but I think it really pushed the indie game industry, because look where we're at now compared to where we were before. The indie games are really like front and center of the video game sphere. And a lot of the youngins I talk to on my course, they're more into indie games than they are into AAA games, because they can't afford the $80, $90 to buy these AAA games. Where a game like Deltarune that costs, pennies on the dollar compared to a AAA game, it's accessible to them, and it feeds that need that did we talk about? No, it wasn't us who talked about it, but it feeds that need for instant gratification in video games.
Oh, me and you did, but yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But what are my notes? All right, art style. So
I'll leave it in. Why not?
it happens. So
Yeah.
art style in video games. AAA games tend to try to push the bounds of reality. Do you think we've hit a peak in how good video games can look? Or do you think there's still room for improvement by them? And on that, does stylization of indie games where the graphics aren't, they're designed to be, more cartoony or more stylized as to get away from that realism? Do you think that amplifies their uniqueness?
So yeah. I mean, Dave, if you got it, I'm still piecing a thought together here. Go for it.
I don't think games will ever stop evolving. Like AAA games, they're always going to find something that's going to make it look better and more real. Like you can't make something look 100% perfect. There's always going to be something that they can improve on, whether it's something stupid as the way the water moves or the way a cloud dissipates in the sky or whatever. But with that, like because of that, I think AAA games can look aged quicker. Because as soon as the next big thing comes, when it comes to realism, when the next thing comes out, the last thing doesn't look as good. Where, like you said, with the stylized, whether it's cartoony, whether it's
they hold up,
whether it's they always that doesn't change. That stays the same.
Yeah, like games like Tunic, for example, like it's a cell shaded cartoony art style that's gonna look good no matter what. I mean, it's the same principle that Wind Waker was, and you keep going this hyper realistic route. It's like the changes are negligible at this point, but like you go back to like something like Assassin's Creed 2, for example, everyone looks overly greasy and have like cube hands, and it's just like
Italy.
This is true.
Oh boy. Italy is known for cube hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's a thick layer of grease over in Italy during the Renaissance. We all know this, obviously. Read your history books. But that looked good at the time, and now you look at anything current, and it's like, it's pretty realistic and looks good, but it just won't hold in 5-10 years.
Well, see, I'm not so sure about that. I think in the PS4, Xbox One era, we kind of plateaued on how realistic graphics could be, and now we're just fine-tuning things like lighting and, like McGee said, how the clouds look and how the fart smells and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think, like, we used to have leaps and bounds in generations from pixel art to 3D, blocky models to 3D with detail to 3D with like full articulated motion and motion capture technology to basically movie level cinematics of like every detail on a face. Like the 3D models are being built full skeleton and muscular systems now so that they move like a real human being. And I think as far as that's concerned, they're at a plateau. Now it's just literally making things look better. And I don't think it's us noticing things that are just slightly better. I think we notice things they fucked up on. Like, you walk around a corner and you see a seam broken in a mesh and you're just like, oh, those fucking jackasses can't build a video game.
What a bunch of amateurs.
Yeah, exactly. Like one thing I'll remember is Spider-Man on the PS4. I was climbing a building and I just got the PS5 and I got the Spider-Man upgrade. So I'm climbing up a building and you'll hit a point where the reflections on the building just turn to a generic skyline of New York. And the PS5, they used RTX, and RTX is just literally live reflections. And as you climb the building, the reflections remained, and you could actually turn the camera and you'd see the reflection of literally what's behind you as opposed to some generic piece of art. That's the last biggest jump I've seen in video games.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that's been like that. Because, it's just all the small stuff that we don't even notice at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Things that are far away don't need to be as detailed. So, they've learned their lesson on that. One thing I learned was Horizon was made to look so nice is because they developed a tech that would load the graphics just outside your field of view. So when you turned around, it already have like the next like sector loaded. I guess I'd call it a sector. But as you turned your camera view, it'd be loading in real time, and it saved resources because it didn't have to load an entire open world map.
Yeah, I've seen mock-ups of that like done too, like it from behind the scenes perspectives, and it's really interesting. It's insane how they do that.
Yeah. Wasn't there a Rick and Morty episode about that?
Probably.
Is there a Rick and Morty episode about Blink?
But how do you think pixel graphics have held up? Like, obviously they've gotten better because you have more than just 16 bits, but
right.
I mean, pixel graphics constantly look amazing. And I think that's the graphical style that has held up the best.
Do they look amazing because it's like what we grew up like? Do they look great because of nostalgia, or do your kids appreciate a pixel art style? I guess that's what I'm asking.
I'd have to relent to McG on this one because my kid plays Roblox.
Which is pixels.
It's not pixels.
I mean,
it's blocky. You'll
it's
figure this out when your kid becomes old enough and all of a sudden an iPad is dropped in front of her.
No.
Yeah, you're going to say that. You're going to say, no, I'm not going to let my kid get screen time, but it's not your choice.
I know.
As soon as they go to school,
I know.
Done.
No, homeschool them. They won't turn out weird. Come on. That works out great.
I have never met a non-weird homeschool.
Nobody has, man. Nobody has. They lick toads for entertainment.
But pixel art does look better now than it did in, let's say, what was it? 85, 34, whatever, when Mario first came out, you know what I mean? Like, but it's still pixel art. Like, it doesn't need much to change. It's just like brighter colors, more objects on the screen. It's still pixel art.
Yeah, well, they fudge it nowadays too a little bit. Like, you look at a game like Shovel Knight, and it's like, it's not true 16-bit. I think it has extra and stuff, and has a wider scope of color than anything of like the Super Nintendo that they were kind of modeling after would have. But it looks good. It's just like slightly polished. We took a little bit of liberties just to spruce it up a bit more. And yeah, it holds. You can still play Shovel Knight today and be like, this is beautiful.
You still play Mario today. And say the same thing, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, no, I like pixel graphics because you might be right. They might be a nostalgia thing, but I just think pixel graphics make it feel more like a video game, and you have to use a little bit of your imagination to fill in the blanks. And I don't know. I think a lot of video games try to tell you how you should feel about them more than, portraying how you should feel about them. And I think, old Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis games, they knew they had a limitation, so they would use the dialogue and the story and the really bad pixelated emotions to tell you how, or like portray how you should feel.
Yeah, and I'm just here playing devil's advocate too. I actually agree with you. I'm just trying to stir the pot for conversation.
No, that's good. That's good. I like that because
I'm learning.
Yeah. Here's one we kind of touched on. Do you think games are made better with small studios or massive studios? Like, now, a game like Expedition 33, while they say it was made by 33 people, I'm pretty sure they outsourced some of the work in the game to outside studios because they had long credits as well. So it was 33 people asterisks.
That's true.
So do you think like a small studio that, I don't know, like let's go back to Sea of Stars. I think they have like a small 5-6 person studio.
Yeah.
But again, I also think they might have outsourced.
I'm sure everybody does at this point. I mean,
well, the video game company in Ottawa, Snowden Studios, literally works on Microsoft on games on the side. Like, I don't know exactly what they do, but all their website pictures are of Microsoft games. So,
I feel like if your team starts getting too big, it's like a lot of good ideas will start slipping through the cracks, and it's not. It doesn't become, oh yeah, let's try and create something good. It's just the loudest voice in the room is gonna win at that point. It's just
Loudest
like
or the highest paid?
Yeah.
good point.
How
They
nice
go
is his suit?
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I hate to go back to the Bungie thing, but it's a perfect example of when you have too many people, too many hands in the cookie jar.
Mm-hmm.
Things get missed, things don't get greenlit, and good games can die.
Well,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can look at it from not even a creative aspect, but just like a mechanical. We got there aspect too. Is like these AAA games are so known for being heavily patched day one because they're just busted, because people are missing stuff, because they're just so many hands touching it and stirring the pot and everything else, that it's just like, yeah, you're missing, like, yeah, cool, it looks great, but you can like phase through this wall and like fall through and reach to the end of the game. It's like, and I feel like that doesn't happen with indie games nearly as much as it does with AAAs.
So this is not off topic, but just a question I just thought of to ask. Do you think it's because of, though, that there's all these like your game awards and blah 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 blah, and they put so much focus on
God.
here's the newest game coming out and then they have to have a date, because if they don't have a date, people get upset, and then all of a sudden now they've run into issues, they've run into problems. Now the crunch time comes, and now you get a Cyberpunk whatever, 2077 that literally was unplayable the first 2 years that it was out.
I blame it on partially what you said, McGee, early trailers and the hype that gets developed by it. And then people start overhyping, and then you get like Reddit sites where everybody's like nitpicking every little piece of news. And as it continues to grow and hype, the game becomes so big that it'll never live up to those expectations. So when it gets released, because they, like you said, they have to have a release date eventually. Next thing you know, you have this day one patch, still broken game, and then everybody friggin' dumps on it because nobody wants to pull the game back and say, hey, it's not ready yet. Like, Grand Theft Auto did. If Grand Theft Auto comes out with a shit game, it will blow up the entire video game industry.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So those guys are going to delay it until it is perfect. It near perfect, like funny glitches only, kind of like how Skyrim or Bethesda does it. So
deep down, I really want GTA 6, whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't the GTA guy. I want that to fail.
Me
I want
too.
it to fail.
Won't.
I want it to bomb.
It won't, but
I want a reset in the gaming industry. I want a complete reset.
Yeah, I think we're headed for one, simply on the idea that AAA games are starting to lose. Well, not losing their audience. They're still selling like crazy, but the conversation is shifting. A lot more people are praising indies and, attacking AAA games, I find. At least in my experience. I'm not saying this as any sort of expert, but...
No, that's usually the case, because we run in pretty similar circles, like the three of us too. And yeah, pretty much every one of our friend groups, I feel like it's safe to say, are pretty indie positive over AAA.
Yeah, no, it's easier to forgive the mistakes of an indie game of a small team than it is to forgive the gigantic hedge fund that is a AAA studio.
Yeah.
But have you ever noticed any time where a AAA studio all of a sudden follows a trend set by the indie games? Like they see a successful indie game, and next thing you know, you have a AAA studio dropping a game of a similar style, but with their, upgraded graphics and money thrown at it. Can you think of any example?
I feel like
What the hell was that?
Go for
it. What are those games that Squaresoft came out with?
Oh, the damn it! You said Octopath Traveler.
Yes, there you go.
Way to pull that one out. Damn. Okay, yeah.
He said Squaresoft, and he banged his head on something. I knew exactly what he was talking about.
Because that like Square was obviously known, Square was obviously known for having the OG RPGs and stuff like that, and then they went completely AAA huge budget, huge stories, huge graphics, huge music, and then all of a sudden Octopath Travelers came out once indie started getting rolling pretty good in the PS4 era.
Yeah, I think it was PS4.
Yeah.
No, that's
that would be my example.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's definitely like, yeah, smaller scale RPGs came out, but I wonder if that was also a response to the backlash of Final Fantasy 16, because that game, it was a good game. I enjoyed it, but it didn't feel like a Final Fantasy. It felt like, you know, an action game with Final Fantasy painted on top of it.
Is that the one with the guys were driving in the car?
No, that's 15.
Okay.
That one actually still felt kind of like a Final Fantasy, only because it had that
weird.
It all started from Final Fantasy 13 anyways, but that's a story for a different day.
Yeah.
So I'll tell it now. It's really quick. So Final Fantasy 15 started out as Final Fantasy 13 Versus, and the game got shelved, and then it was never going to be made. So finally they pulled it out and said, let's call it Final Fantasy 15. And yeah, they delivered what they delivered.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
But
it was something.
I think maybe Octopath Traveler was a way for them to go back to their roots. Anyways, going back to my my major point here, as after Final Fantasy 16, it got a little bit of a flack for its, you know, being so big, but not really feeling very Final Fantasy. They wanted to showcase that they could still do it while making a bit of money to keep the company afloat. Because they had to sell off a lot, right? They sold off IDOS, who ported the Tomb Raider games to PC, and used to port all the Final Fantasy games to PC. They had sold them off and a lot of IP with it.
I'm not familiar, but
yeah, they were struggling for a bit there, weren't they?
Yeah, and there's the rumors they're going to be bought out by either Nintendo or Sony, or Microsoft is getting their wallet out, and
their wallet should be empty.
Yeah, it'll never be empty.
It won't.
No.
Friggin' 68 billion for Activision was a rounding error.
I feel like we're gonna be in the middle of something like this. Like, I mean, we've used the example a lot, but with Expedition 33, I will not be shocked in the next couple of years we start seeing more turn-based RPGs than we've seen in a while, coming from more AAA studios and stuff like that. They're just like, try and catch the fire that was Expedition 33.
Now that they prove they can do it, I mean,
and people like this type of game.
Yeah. And it kind of really put Square in their place with the whole nobody wants to play turn-based games, even though Square is now doubling down on that assertion. But
I still prefer turn-based games, personally.
Yeah, they're more story-oriented, and the combat of Expedition 33 proved that you can make turn-based fun. What am I going to ask now? Fuck! I had the question all loaded up, and then we broke the conversation up here.
Yes. I will take a hamburger.
Take a hamburger. So do you think indie games are actually pushing AAA games to be better than they were? Like, instead of just, being all about the money all the time, they're actually trying now. Studios are, trying to reduce crunch time because of the whole Cyberpunk fiasco, because it was all about the crunch time and the 100-hour weeks and people never seeing their families. And, indie studios come out with these games that somebody makes at home on their, off time. So do you think indie games are kind of pushing the industry to change a little bit? Again, not expert opinions here. This is all just personal opinions and personal observations.
No, but she's an expert. Come on. That's why we brought him in.
Yeah. Let me pull out my degree in gameology. Kind of thing. I personally think indie games aren't pushing to change anything. These major corporations don't give two shits. If they see something they like, they may copy it, but they never copy it right.
No,
it's there. As long as they have money, they're just going to keep pushing forward. If it fails, they'll lay a bunch of people off, maybe close the studio, and move on to the next project.
Fair, yeah.
It's like you said, they're going to do what they want at the end of the day. So it really doesn't matter. Indie games are looking to tell a story 9 times out of 10, or like, hey, you know what? I think we have a pretty cool mechanic here. Let's base the game around it. And hey, we make money along the way. Cool. Am I generally speaking for a lot of indies? Yeah, I am. But it feels like that's the sentiment 9 times out of 10, where it's just like, look, we want to share this thing with people, and yeah, we'll make some money off of it, but who cares? It's fine. We're not asking for a kidney.
Have you ever played an indie game that it's going to be like a weird question here that's going to take me a minute to really vocalize, but
go for it.
I remember, like, I'm on the Reddit subreddit indie games, our indie games, and every so often people throw up, I got a new demo out, and you'll play the game, and it just feels like somebody who thought they can make a certain game better, but they do it in their own style, and it's awful, but like, you don't want to hurt their feelings because people put a lot of effort into this, and it's not going to sell anything. But have you ever done that? Have you ever just like played a demo or something of an indie game somebody's hyped up on their own and it felt wrong?
I can't say I actually have.
Oh God, you got to try it once. Okay, here's another one. Somebody in the Discord, we 2 out of 3 of us share, put out that he was developing a game called Chess Rama, and it's on Steam. You can play a demo now or early access. I can't remember which. The idea is kind of like a roguelike chess game where you upgrade your pieces, and I decided to give it a shot. I decided to give it like a quick gloss over to see how it was, and I really enjoyed it. Like, it's a really good idea that needs like some polish, right? And he executed it quite well because it's not just a game of chess. You just move the pieces like they are chess pieces on a larger board, and definitely was kind of one of those games I'm glad I took a chance on, and I might actually like keep looking at it. I was just looking at my computer desktop, and the icon had just changed, so he must have done an update. So it's things like that I love. I like taking chances on these ones, but I just remember this one, a guy made an RPG, and it was literally, if I made Final Fantasy the way I wanted Final Fantasy, and the game was just so rough, and the dialogue was literally just somebody telegraphing the end of the story at the beginning, and it's just like, wow, I can't stomach this, but I believe in your passion.
See,
you're allowed to criticize somebody's passion, right? Just don't be a dick about it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
For real.
I didn't actually respond to him on the subreddit.
that could actually be worse.
Yeah. See, I think that's why I'm missing these, is I've been out of the PC game for so long, and I feel like that's where a lot of that stuff floats around. Because I do remember seeing it when I was more of a PC gamer. Like, oh yeah, try this, try that, and I can't for the life of me remember jumping on any of them. But I don't know. I think that's probably why I'm missing that subset.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting because sometimes you get on the ground floor of a good game.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think indie's losing its meaning with the larger games coming out? We were talking about it at the beginning, and I don't know if it'll make it in the episode or not, but it's just like, it's so vague. Well, it's not always, but it's sometimes vague what an indie game is, because it's like, okay, if they're backed by a bigger studio, but it's a small team still making it, is it indie or is it not, because they have a safe budget? And it's a term that's getting tossed around. Indie is getting tossed around a lot more these days, and I feel like we're in the process of it beginning to get blurred a little bit. Yeah.
It'd be like back when you could either use like indie music or alternative music.
Yeah, there you
go. When it first came out, it was like there was a few bands, and then all of a sudden, you have these major bands that are saying they're like Radiohead, for instance. Radiohead's one of the biggest bands in the world. They will tell you they're an indie band.
No,
because they fund it themselves now. Because it got so big, they can fund it themselves.
I was going to say, but isn't that what an independent studio or band is? They are literally funding themselves independently. And that's kind of what the spirit of indie is. And I think of Journey, the game on the PS3.
I thought you meant the band.
No. Oh, yeah, that too. No, Journey, the game on PS3 was considered an indie game, but it was published by Sony on PlayStation. Became a PlayStation exclusive, but it's still an indie game. It's small scope, small studio, big publisher. We talked about Power Wash Simulator. how their first game was published by Square Enix, and then their second game was self-published. So it's, I get the concept of building a game and seeking funds outside of just like Kickstarter. I mean, Star Citizen has just topped $1 billion in Kickstarter money. They still haven't released a game. They're bigger than some AAA studios out there.
They're bigger than some small countries.
Yeah.
You'll never see a game released.
No. Just a bunch of rich people being separated from their money.
But living in Puerto Rico with somebody else's money.
Yeah, but for small studios, or like say with three of us got together and we decided to build a game, and all of a sudden like Microsoft, Sony, or a big publishing company said, yeah, we'll publish the game for you, but we still had complete control over it. Does that still make us indie, or is because Sony publishing it? And what's that deal as well? Are they publishing it for a cut of the profits, or are they actually funding the game?
I don't think a major corporation would allow you to have free reign. I don't know this. I can't back it up because I've never made a game funded by a big as an indie studio. But I can't. You know what? Starting right now. but like I can't see them giving them. They'll want to see the product. They want to see.
Yeah, where their money's going. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't see that being realistic, but I could be way off.
I mean, for the sake of the hypothetical of like, okay, yeah, here's a blank check. We're backing you, but you have full creative control. I would say it's still an indie game. I don't care if it has Bethesda, Ubisoft, whatever tacked onto it as well. It's like, no, those like 40 some people in a room made this, and that's it. That makes it independent to me. I don't care where you secure funding, because you could have secured funding from anywhere. Okay, what's the difference between a corporation funding you and literally a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter? Money's money. Who cares? As long as you developed it and made it, that's good enough for me.
Personally, I disagree.
Okay.
I think as soon as a major corporation stamps on it, you can still be an indie studio, but that's not an indie game. You're making a game for a major corporation.
Yes, and I'll agree with what you said before of like, yeah, if a corporation's putting their money in, yeah, you're absolutely right. They're gonna have a say somewhere along the way. And that's where my pipe dream here gets unrealistic, and I know that, but
yeah, I want to argue the point that, you know, a big corporation could just be a publisher, but yeah, there is no realistic situation in a capitalist society that, you know, the big people putting the money in don't want all the say of how the thing is released. We don't like that. Cut it out and we'll release the game for you.
They want to make sure things aren't too offensive. They want to make sure that it'll be okay to go into every country. There'll be a lot of red tape you have to dance around.
Make sure little kids can buy it because that's where the money is.
How about games that are developed on Unity or Unreal that take a 30% cut on your profits after you make like $1 million? So if you're a independent
forgot about that.
Yeah, if you're an independent small developer, a solo developer or something like that, you can build a game inside of Unreal. You can get all the assets. You can actually buy the models and all that stuff on their store called Fab. And then you can publish it to Steam. Both of them will take a 30% cut, leaving you like the final 40% for yourself. Do you think that is a good model for independent games, or is that just, again, big corporations putting their hand in the honeypot?
The latter, unfortunately. It's they're just wanting to get their kickback at the end of the day. Yeah, you're providing a tool that these studios can use, but it should be a one-time cost, not like, hey, if your game takes too much money or makes too much money, we're going to take a bigger cut. It's like, what? On what planet does that make any sense?
Well, I could argue the opposite to that is to get a license for 3ds Max, the industry standard 3D modeling software, is about $2,000, $2,500 a year. Now, let's say it takes you 2 years to build whatever models you need. That's $5,000 out of your pocket, not to mention the other stuff you have to get a license to, like Adobe and all that stuff that kind of complement it.
Yeah.
Is it not easier to put a game, like build a game in Unreal Engine, which you technically can do the entire process in Unreal Engine for free. And then they just say, you know, if your game makes so much money, we're just going to take our little cut there. Now, 30% to me is just industry standard for everybody. Sony does it for all their games.
Yeah.
Microsoft does it for all their games. Apple does it for all their stuff. They put it on their app store. So it's just comes down to the thing is, should indie solo developers maybe have a smaller percentage up to a point? And again, like Unity, they only start plucking money from you after you make so much money.
You make a good point. I'm starting to argue it, but I'm like, you know, you're making a lot of sense at the same time. And it's like, yeah, take the money when they've made it, because it's like they can have it, they can afford to. It's not going to shutter them at this point. It's just going to, all right, that stings a little bit, but hey, I'm here now because I used your software. Damn it, Brian, you're right.
I does what I do's because I does what I do's.
We'll stop it.
All right. So I think I thoroughly destroyed Joe on that one.
Yeah, a little bit.
So
he looks so disheartened now.
I do.
So McGee's already mentioned it, how he discovers his indie games basically word of mouth. How about you, Joe? How do you discover new indie games? Do you like subscribe to any online subscription services that let you just like poke at one? Do you watch, you know, the video game award shows or the Summerfest?
Honestly, it's probably the same as McGee. It's word of mouth and like podcasts I'll listen to, be like, hey, I'm playing this, and they'll go on a rant for 5 minutes like, oh, hey, I'm actually kind of interested in that. Like, the day RetroBytes stopped looking up news stories was the happiest day of my life, Brian. I never go to video game news to follow anything. So, but yeah, it's more of the same. It's just like a lot of word of mouth of just, hey, check this out. And I'm like, okay.
No.
I know my interests at this point. I know what I like.
I get it. I'm like thumb on the pulse of all the trailers that come out, Summer Game Fest and all that stuff, because otherwise, I'm not going to really look into new indie games. Like I have Xbox Game Pass, and I'll thumb through that every so often, and I'll give one a shot here and there. But reality is, Mouse PI for Hire, I would have never probably taken a chance on that or even remembered about it unless, you know, I saw it on like the game trailer, and then it just kept being brought back to my attention. So I like to be in the know.
And see, that works for you because I forgot it existed until you started talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that game. That looked interesting. I will admit, with what I just said, though, there is one exception, and like I'll play a lot of Pokemon ROM hacks where it's just like fan made versions of Pokemon games.
Yeah, Pikachu with big boobs.
Exactly. I love Tittymon. I find those typically as YouTube shorts and stuff like that. I'll just be scrolling and be like, hey, look at this weird Pokemon game. And I'll be like, oh, okay. And I'll dig into it and do my own research.
That's funny because that's actually how I found a bunch of movies I've watched over the last year. It's just YouTube short clips.
Yeah. Gets me to rewatch old stuff.
All right. Do you think there's any old indie game back in the day that was just okay, that may have not secured the gigantic audiences we see today, that would have just been gangbusters today, like just popped out like Braid? I think Braid was considered the first indie game.
Was it? Dang. See, that's hard because it's like it failed, so a lot of people don't know about it. I'm trying to think of just the shovelware crap I played back in the day.
Well, you remember how games used to get, well, maybe not you, Joe, but McGee, you must remember this. Back in the early 90s there, when you just walk into a store and they'd have the shareware disc and you could just grab a disc and play like the first chapter of Doom or first chapter of Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I remember that. I just don't remember any because it was basically Doom and Wolfenstein.
I was gonna say it was the bigger names that I remember. Like, yeah, I remember that. I remember Anthem. It was a great waste of my money. But indie wise is the problem where I'm like,
because I can almost guarantee there was something I played. I just don't remember.
I know that's what's irking me too. It's like there's something Well, I cannot for the life of me think of one. Brian, you got
Because
something for this? Well, me and Big G are stumbling here.
Not particularly. It's a hard one, right? Like,
yeah, it is.
you can just sit there and you can say all these games, they just kind of paved the way for what we got today. Do I think some games would have done better back like now than back then? Probably, but at the same time, we wouldn't be where we were without them. So
back then too, like the studios weren't as big.
No,
and it was harder to get your stuff published. You had to pitch it to a company like Sony to get it on their system. Like, it wasn't just a publishing company, or you had to pitch it to a publishing company to get it on a game system. Because nobody could self-publish back in those days because it took a ton of money to get it on anything. But I was just looking
up to find some to jog my memory, and I still couldn't find any.
Well, I was looking at the list of upcoming indie games, and there's one I've been seeing on Reddit a lot. It's called Den Shat Attack. And
God bless you.
Yeah, I know. Basically, a guy developed a skateboarding like game, but except for you're a train on rails. And it's very stylized, very, bright graphics, fast moving lines and stuff like that, very cartoony. But I remember seeing the trailer, and it was just one of those things that are like, this is such a dumb idea. I know I'm going to get it day one. And I just see it as a release day now.
Squirrel with a gun.
Yes, exactly. Squirrel with a gun just had its name. It's telling me I was going to buy it. And I did. And I loved it.
It was such a good time. And it is dumb. It is nothing amazing, but sometimes you just need stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Really
I'm a big fan of stupid.
The stupider the concept of a game
I
is,
relate a lot, but
the stupider the concept of a game is, the more likely I'm going to buy it. Like, I'll like even bypassing if it's on a streaming service. Yeah, I'm talking. Oh, fucking 3-0. I just sorry, I got the Montreal Carolina game in my.
Yeah, it should be 2-0 because that first goal was 100% interference.
Oh, I'm not watching the feed.
I'm just a Habs fan. Yeah. They ran the goalie. Two guys ran the goalie.
They keep doing that, wow. But that's off topic.
Anyways,
yeah. So there's a game that I'm looking at that I keep seeing like clips of, and it's a guy made a skateboarding game using a push broom or a mop. And that's all you are, just a mop going around like cleaning stuff as you do like flip tricks and kick flips and all that kind of crap, Tony Hawk style.
That's awesome.
The concept is so dumb that I want it so bad.
Yeah.
I just looked up most anticipated indie games of 2026.
Oh boy.
And Psychotic Bathtub is an upcoming. And it's just got a still image of a person lying in a tub with options. One that says, add hot water, drink wine, leave bathtub, take meds, discuss the voices in your head with your rubber ducky. You might have to get that.
Yeah,
that sounds like Stanley Parable energy of just like, it's going to be just
that was a good
off
game.
The walls. It is.
The amount of effort that had to go in the Stanley Parable. All right.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up, I guess. So, are indie games actually really embarrassing the AAA market, or are they just kind of reminding us what we as gamers used to love?
Why not both?
Yeah.
Honestly, because it's just like Expedition 33 embarrassed the AAA market heavily. I would say Sea of Stars did too. It's just like there's so much good in the indie game market that it's like you can survive on just indies at this point and have a reliable, steady library of games. And a lot of them are baked in that nostalgia factor. Celeste, Stardew, like all these, a lot of them the pixel art ones, but just so many of them will remind you of like how things used to be, how games, trying to recapture that experience of playing a game in like the late 80s, early 90s and just having a ball. Indies are superior. Long and short of it.
What do you think, Benji?
I don't think AAA games are never going away. You're always going to get a bunch of AAA games that are absolute garbage, and then you're going to always get one or two that are going to stand out and make everybody fall in love with AAA games again. It's a ridiculous cycle, but we're humans, we're flawed, and we're stupid. However, personally, I'm going to play indie games more. I'm going to play more indie games than I am AAA games.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the time to sit down and play multiple AAA games. And I would much rather sit down and play a 10-hour game rather than a 60, 70-hour game.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
No, I'm kind of the same way, except for mine is like budgetary. So
yeah,
right now I'm not pulling in the money I used to. So I pick and choose my AAA titles. I literally nowadays will not buy a game until I plan to play it. And there's a bunch of games on my list that I want to buy, like my wish list. But a lot of them have fallen to the wayside because it just becomes too late. And there's always something better to play in the AAA sphere. Indie games, however, McGee said it, like a 10-hour game. Some of these games are even like 3-4 hours long, and they're just a nice little snack of a game that you can sit down in one sitting and play through and enjoy. So I don't think they're like indie games are embarrassing the AAA market, but I really do believe they are shifting the conversation away from these gigantic titles being the forefront and everybody having to buy all of them. I don't think people are going to collect video games the way they used to. I think that's pretty much what indie's starting to take a slice out of.
People will collect indies. They're not going to collect the AAAs because nobody can. And
nowadays,
more of them are forgettable.
Yeah. Nowadays, every indie has a special edition on IM8-bit or that other one.
That's true.
And, it costs like the price of a AAA game and you get some stickers with them. I miss the days when
I like stickers.
I miss the day when you bought a collector's edition of a game and you got fucking working night vision goggles.
Yeah.
That was Modern Warfare 2. I had those night vision goggles. They were like crap, but they worked. It was good. I miss those. All right.
I had some knickknacks from those.
I didn't buy a lot of special edition.
You are my special edition.
Oh.
With that positive note, I think we're going to wrap up the main show here. So, Joe, do you want to send us out?
Yeah, because I was prepared to do that, but okay, sure. Just to thank you all for listening to another episode of RetroBytes. I mean, I feel like we've hit the sweet spot of what the show is gonna be. I mean, things have been working for the past few months, and I'm looking forward to continue seeing where it goes. But if you support us on Patreon and stuff like that, we appreciate you. We love you, and check out the rest of the shows over on Retrotopia, the main show. We got quick plays, after darks, all sorts of fun stuff like that. And yeah, happy to have you here. Any final words from you two?
No.
Beautiful. All right, fantastic. Until another month from now, I'll see at least one of you again soon. Bye.